Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So here we are again with another beautiful topic, what do you call article in the newspaper. So this article is basically written by a teacher who is based in Delhi, and she has written that my student proved me wrong, and that too completely. So the background for this article basically revolves around the teacher who has begun to lose the authenticity, that the people, especially the most discussed Gen Z today, are losing their individualistic approaches and they're losing their independent thinking. That is why the teacher here mentions that individualistic world might would make it harder for the young people to feel connected to something larger than themselves. So the teacher basically tries to say that people in this world, in this generation, are so engrossed in the social medias and in the online platform that they have sort of started to lose a physical touch to the in the society, and also the individualistic world that feels connected to each other for one common cause in them. Moving further, the teacher also mentions in her article that how we tell a story shapes the way people understand the world. That's very important. The way you perceive, the way you serve things to people, the way they perceive it, and the way they frame an opinion surrounding it. So it's very important to deliver right things to right people at right age. That's very important. Further moving, we could also see that they see the connection between the history we study and the society they live in. Yes, instead of just studying textbooks and learning it, revising it, and pouring onto the exam paper, what's more important here is that you need to learn the history that you have read in the textbook and be able to connect in the society you live in, right? Like both should be go hand in hand. The things you learn, the things you implement in the society, enforce in the society, and that's how you learn from the mistakes of others and from the good deeds, the goodwills of others that your people like Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and many more willow revolutionaries has done for this land. Moving further, we could also see that the teacher writes, they sustained themselves through laughter, made reels, and had fun. And documented their experience, and through those fragments, we got a glimpse into the stories emerging from the protest. Very important thing, the teacher talks about the protest here. The teacher talks about the protest. Like, since people in this generation are connected to social media in a way that they sort of served us the reality through their reels and funning videos. Like we people who are millennials also got connected, also got to know about things that are happening on ground in the protest, and also they had a fun like making a reels and saving it as a memory for future, right? So this sort of gives us a sense of connection between a technological aspect and an emotional touch to the protest. Moving further, you could also see that when I began to think this was an increasingly individualistic generation, the teacher thinks us as Gen Z as individualistic generation who does not feel connected to each other. That means we proved these millennials wrong completely. They reminded me that being connected through technology does not being disconnected from people. Very important line here is that if you're connected to technology in form of reels, social media platforms and whatnot, Twitter, X, whatsoever it is, that doesn't equate to being disconnected from people, the society you live in. That's very important, that people and the technology can go hand in hand and they can become a more major and more powerful tool to even persuade or even contemplate people like that of the union minister, like education minister, resign from the post for the deeds that they have done, for to make them accountable, right? If these Gen Z would not have shown this much strength, courage, then this resignation would have not been possible, and perhaps the major bill that has been brought and passed in both the houses could not have been possible, right? The major anti-paper leak exam bill that is passed recently. Moving further, we can also see that when students talk about democracy and the constitution, they show up for one another. The history we teach stop being abstract. That is, they acquire the present tense. The history that we have taught, that we are being taught, is no more an abstract. We have enforced it, we have implemented into the reality on ground. That is why the teacher thinks that perhaps that is one of the most humbling things about teaching. Sometimes the lesson comes back to you. Very important and very beautiful line written by the author. Here is that when you think that letters or text written in a textbook is just what you are supposed to serve to the people, no, the story does not end there. Sometimes you could also witness things that pays back to you, that comes back to you. That is what teacher here is written, is that sometimes the lesson comes back to you, so be ready for that as well. People understand that citizenship carry responsibility and right. Very important for Gen Z to note here that we not only have the power to raise our voices against the discrimination done against us. We should be able that not only we have the power to raise our voices for our rights, but also we have the responsibility to serve the society, to give back to the society in the best possible manner. The way we demand the rights, the way we should give back to the society in form of the responsibility that is being in our shoulders. It's not the responsibility of a soldier to give back to his nation, but also of every individual who demands for his rights, who raises his voice against the injustice done to him and to his fellow mates, to give back to the society in the same or even more way, right? Secondly, we move further and we could also see here is that in the last stanza, in the last paragraph of the article, the author writes, I had been afraid that perhaps I was asking too much. Then my students went out into the world, showed me up, then perhaps I had not been asking enough. As an educator, I'm proud of them, but it is more than pride. There is a gratitude too. They restored something in me that I had begun to lose. The author began to lose the strength, began to lose the individuality and the sense of connection that the Gen Z today also possesses for the society and the history. They are well enough, they are strengthened enough through the technology that they could relate technology as well as the textbook knowledge in history. Thank you very much for this video. We'll meet in yet another.